and have more than a few drinks. You fight for the keys and insist on driving your brother and friend home. While driving, you find it hard to stay in the lanes and begin to swerve off the road. Suddenly, you begin to flip and ran right into a pole. Still intoxicated, you look around and see your brother and friend unconscious, and you begin to doze off. The next day you wake up with only bumps and bruises, but come to find out that your brother has died and your friend is suffering from serious injuries. You are overwhelmed with guilt and sadness and begin to ask yourself, why did this happen? Why did I survive? You never thought about the consequences of driving under the influence would have. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, every day almost 30 people die in the U.S. in motor vehicle crashes that involve an alcohol-impaired driver. By simply not driving under the influence, lives would be saved. I would like to begin today by discussing the consequences of driving under the influence. According to the National Survey of Drugs, Use and Health, a household survey of approximately 30.5 million people in 2009, ages 12 and older, indicated that 1 in 10 people reported driving under the influence at least once in the prior year. The Encyclopedia of Drugs, Alcohol, and Addictive Behavior states injuries from motor vehicle collisions are the leading cause of death for individuals under the age of 44. Things that are affected when you drive with alcohol is impaired attention, vision, and perception. There are obstacles drivers face when driving under the influence. First, you have a drunk driver error in judgment. You can't determine when to stop your vehicle, and you can't determine your speed. Next, drunk drivers lose the ability to control a car because your driving skills are impaired. The Encyclopedia of Drugs, Alcohol, and Addictive Behavior states alcohol is the single largest factor in traffic fatalities and serious injuries. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, in 2009, approximately 10,839 people were killed in alcohol-impaired driving, nearly 1/3 of all traffic incidents. Next, according to Leader's Drunk Driving book, penalties for drunk driving continue to become tougher over the years as dangerous behavior increasingly rises. First, you have your blood alcohol content. Your blood alcohol content is how much alcohol is in your blood when you have drinks. The law states that you cannot have a blood alcohol content of over 0.08%. The Encyclopedia of Drugs, Alcohol, and Addictive Behavior says anybody with a blood alcohol content greater than 0.08% is 11 times more likely to be involved in a fatal car crash. Also, the Encyclopedia of Drugs, Alcohol, and Addictive Behavior also states any blood alcohol content with greater than 0.20% increases your odds of involving in a fatal car crash 100 times. That's 10,000%. Maryland has penalties for drunk driving, and according to Leader's Drunk Driving book, a drunk driver first must attend a driver improvement program, an alcohol education program, has a suspended license for up to 60 to 120 days, has jail time and fines. Not sure of the appropriate fine or jail time because it depends on the incident. If you have an accident where you kill others, your fine will likely increase as well as your jail time. So it all depends on the situation you're in at the time. As you can see, U.S. drivers need to make some changes to make society a safer one. I feel driving sober will help eliminate many serious injuries and fatalities. Can effective measures really reduce the number of drivers who engage in drunk driving? According to the Encyclopedia of Drugs, Alcohol, and Addictive Behavior, 3 out of 10 Americans will be involved in an alcohol-related crash sometime in their life. The ways to avoid this are sobriety checkpoints. Sobriety checkpoints should be increased. That will provide extra jobs for people in Maryland. It will also help reduce drivers driving on the road when driving drunk. When we add sobriety checkpoints, though, we should keep it discreet. Don't let drivers know where the checkpoints will be. If you let them know, they're more likely to take another way home. So by having it discreet, they'll more likely get caught. There are 2 ways to determine your blood alcohol content. That is by urinalysis and a breathalyzer. I also think that we should lower our blood alcohol content from 0.08% 8% to 0.06. That is less likely to be involved in an accident. Next, we should educate all people, especially young drivers. When a young driver goes for their test, I feel they should watch a video or take a class on what drinking and driving can actually do to you. Next, we also need to focus on zero tolerance. Zero tolerance is an approach in Maryland that if you drink at all and you are caught, you do jail time. The motto is zero tolerance, over the limit, under arrest. We should also eliminate underage drinking by whoever supplies underage drinking with alcohol or access to a party with alcohol should be arrested. The only way to help prevent teen drivers from drinking. By providing you with the results of effective measures, I feel I've provided you with enough evidence to defer driving under the influence. Now I would like to help you visualize what driving sober really would do. I want you to imagine how much safe driving sober really is. I want you to visualize yourself not being distracted or having any impairments. When driving without any distractions or impairments, you are in control. You are able to maintain control of the vehicle. You are able to use your judgment when stopping and determine the appropriate speed. You have a normal sense of perception, attention, and vision. The Center for Disease Control gives a wonderful visualization of enforcing driving sober. If you are hosting a party where alcohol will be served, remind your guests to plan ahead and designate a sober driver. Offer alcohol-free beverages and make sure all guests leave with a sober driver. Does this sound attainable, and do you desire to drive sober? There are no expensive purchases to be made to make this way of life successful. You just need to listen carefully while I explain how to achieve driving sober. Mothers Against Drunk Driving is one way. They are there to help you. It's a national organization to reduce drunk driving. According to the Encyclopedia of Drugs, Alcohol, and Addictive Behavior, Mothers Against Drunk Driving are involved in 3 major kinds of activities. First, they involved in wanting better enforcement and stricter drunk driving laws. They are involved in public awareness and educational programs, and they are there to assist you if you have been a victim of drunk driving or if you just have questions. Mothers Against Drunk Driving is always there to help you to stay away from driving under the influence. Next, enforce more sobriety checkpoints. Sobriety checkpoints are where police officers access your blood alcohol content with a breathalyzer. This is what a police breathalyzer looks like, and what basically you do is you breathe in here until the police officer tells you to stop, and then it reads your blood alcohol content. A breathalyzer is a device in which the driver breathes into and the police officer reads and identifies your blood alcohol content. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, checkpoints reduce alcohol-related injuries by 20%. Thus, we need to increase our sobriety checkpoints. Third, we need to predetermine possible situations and make efforts to stay away from drunk driving. You need to be a positive influence to yourself and to others. Predetermine a non-drinking driver before everyone begins to drink. Don't let anyone drive impaired. If you have been drinking any drinks at all, call a taxi or get a ride home. If you take anything away from this speech today, please take with you to put yourself and everyone on the road in danger when you drive under the influence. I'm not asking you to stop drinking altogether. I simply want you to make the right decision to not drink and drive. I challenge you not to be one of the 30 people every day that die due to drunk driving.